What is up, my friends?
Welcome back to the My Friend and I podcast. We're super excited that you're here. I know what you're thinking. Where are they right now?
What is going on?
What's happening?
What is going on with the set? Why are they holding the microphones, Rachel?
So many questions.
We sold our set, okay?
So many questions.
What happened?
We had a storm.
It was crazy.
It was nuts.
It was crazy.
Tim and Graceland's power is out.
Yeah, guys. So yes, it was crazy because
it was a crazy storm.
Yeah, it was super like mellow at first, and all of a sudden, just sideways rain. It was crazy.
It was insane. We were driving,
it was crazy.
and we got home, and it was like within like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It was like full tornado. It felt like.
Yeah, it was so crazy. And like the thing was though, the weird thing is, the storm passed, and our lights were still working.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest thing.
It was
and then all of a sudden, like this is like we're talking like 20 minutes after the storm, like after no more rain, right? No more lightning, no more thunder, and all of a sudden, all we hear is like in the distance, there's like a, and then our lights flickered.
It's like a movie.
Yeah, and our lights flickered. We're like, but it didn't turn off yet. No more than 2 minutes later, another, and we're like, and then all of a sudden, everything shut off. And I'm just like, we're standing in the dark. We're in our family room. We're like, what's happening? and so like my whole block is out. So no one has power.
They still don't have power.
And so we decided, you know what? Let's get out of Dodge and let's go to a place that does have power. Mm-hmm. So currently we are in my in-laws' house. Mm-hmm. So Grace's parents' house. They were kind enough to let us record in their home. So this is the set for today. That's where we're at. So, and you might be wondering, well, does the electricity affect the use of our boomsticks? Our boom,
the
little boom
thing?
arm, like.
If you're watching, normally the mics are on like a little stand,
like a little boom.
Yeah.
Boom mic stand thingy.
Yeah.
But we just decided, today's gonna be casual.
So we're holding the mics.
Yeah. So hence why we don't have like a song today. It's just because we wanted it to be kind of casual today, and we just wanted to kind of dive in right away, kind of like how we did last time in a way. And so here we are. We're at my in-laws' house. Not gonna disclose where. It's just at my in-laws, and we're gonna have a good time. Have a good time. So
it's chill.
Yeah,
pod.
and if you haven't, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, we welcome you. This is the My Friends and I podcast.
Yeah.
Our podcast is really about kind of. As young adults and as worship leaders, more of the young adult side than it is worship. But we kind of just are wanting a space, a community to kind of share, life together, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and it's not even about being an expert in being a young adult because let's be real, y'all, young adulthood. There's really no professionals there, right? You just kind of get through it. But we but we talk about topics that maybe we're going through right now, or topics that. Maybe some of you older young adults have gone through already, and just kind of creating a space where we can conversate about those things. Again, we're not pastors of any way. We're not really, at what's the word? We're not really like adequate to give crazy good advice. We're just kind of sharing our experiences and hope that you would share yours as well. And we our motto for the podcast is EATL. Yeah, that's right. EETL. It means to engage, encourage, teach, and learn. We want to engage with you, engage with each other, encourage each other, teach and learn from each other. So that's kind of what the podcast is all about. So if you're new here, we're so glad that you're watching and tuning in today. So but as always, we usually have a worship song at the beginning, but we're kind of skipping that today. But then we kind of headed to our Bible encouragement of the day.
Yeah.
All right, let's dig into this. Dig into it, and then we're gonna go into life updates. But here we go.
Oh my god!
All right, guys. So your Bible encouragement of the day, of the month.
This was the Bible verse of the day.
You
have
day.
The Bible app.
That's right, guys. The Bible app is legit. Download it if you haven't.
Good.
It's so dope.
It's so good,
and it's free. So
you can like watch stuff on it.
Yeah, and there's like little like Bible studies you can do. That's like a month long, a week long, however long you want.
I used to
Lots
watch.
of different topics.
Well, now I can watch it other places. But The Chosen, that used to be like.
Oh, that was
you can
that
watch
on
it
the app?
free. Yeah, you can watch it.
I didn't know it was on the app.
So
there you go.
Super cool. Super cool app.
All right, here's the verse of the day. It comes from Psalm 55, verse 22. It says, "Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken.
It's good. It's a good verse. It's a whole good chapter. That whole chapter
Oh yeah.
talks about anxiety and casting your fears on the Lord. Yeah.
How many of y'all need to hear that today? Go and put it in the comments. Praise the Lord. Come on. Hashtag praise the Lord. All right, you also Psalm 55:22. That was the NIV version, if you're wondering, the NIV version. But
Do you have like a hot take on what's the best version? Do you have your favorite?
You know, I've grown up with the NIV.
Yeah.
But then when we got to college, we studied the ESV. That's what our college uses. And so I personally lean NIV or ESV. I know ESV technically, I think ESV has been around longer.
English Standard
Yeah,
Version.
I think it's been around longer, and so it's technically like closer to that of like the King James version, but just like more modern or whatever it is. So ESV is good. The NIV is also good, but there are a lot of big differences. Sometimes because like in Greek or in Hebrew, sometimes one word means two separate things, and so oftentimes you can translate one or the other, or very close to, and so like there you find yourself like reading the ESV and then you read the NIV and they're like half of the verse is the same and then the other half is like completely different.
Yeah.
So just be on the lookout. But I'd always recommend ESV or NIV.
Yeah. I have an NIV Bible because our church grew up with NIV. Yeah. There was some ESVs laying around, but we were mostly NIV. But I just bought in the last few years a CSV, a Christian Standard Version, which is like basically a Bible for someone who needs words that aren't as complicated.
Yeah, that needs just a little bit more help. Yeah.
But I liked that because I use the ESV every day, but then the CSV I have like a...
The NIV or the ESV? They use it.
I'm sorry. I have an NIV.
Yeah.
But I use the CSV when I do like my Bible like devotional time. When it
just
like,
helps you kind of
research,
kind of help you connect deeper to the
because I'm like like that makes sense.
Yeah, you're right. You don't need to you don't need to take a whole class on how to interpret the Bible.
Yeah,
right?
it's just
it's just what it is.
Yeah. Anyway, side tangent.
Hey, there you go. Let us know what translation you guys using down in the comments there, guys. All right,
Tim.
Yes.
What's new in your life?
Well, other than the storm, nothing much. I mean, here we are. Let me see here. We're redecorating a space in the church, which is also a communal office. Every time we're on the pod, you talk about getting new furniture. The last 3 updates have been you getting new furniture. Guys, I'm just an adult now. That's all we do. We just talk. Extreme Home Makeover, your own show. Extreme Home Makeover with Tim Lee. Oh my gosh. We got furniture for the new office. We got to build it tomorrow. But we're kind of revamping this area or this office in our church. It's a really big room. Well, it's a decently sized room, big room. It used to be the conference room. Yeah, and we wanted to. It used to be the senior pastor. No, it was a conference room, then a senior pastor room, and now it's kind of what I'm gonna call it is the creative space. Yeah. It's kind of a communal space, a space for everybody to share, the youth to share, the board members to share, staff members to share. But it's just a place where we could all come and just have a good time. It'll be like good vibes, snacks. There's a mini fridge with drinks. That's at least a vision for it. Just a place so you can feel just comfy. Yeah. Because oftentimes, you can walk into a church or even walk into an office and just feel kind of But we want to make a space where you can feel really relaxed and just kind of enjoy. And then, in turns help you focus or help you do your studies or whatever it may be. So there you go. So, but that's kind of what's new. I mean, we're coming down to the summer here, guys. But but we're doing good. How about you, Rachel? I almost died in the storm. Rachel almost died in the storm. Rachel, what happened? It actually was not. It's actually. Well, hold on. So we called Rachel last night. Yeah. And Rachel started talking and talking about it. And she's like, well, you know what? I'm going to save it for the pod. And I'm like, that's a great idea. I literally was like, guys, I almost died, but I'm not going to tell you about it yet. Yeah, because we're going to hear about it on the pod. So this is the first time. It's literally the worst thing. The worst thing you can do to anyone. I hate it when people do that to me. This is the first time that I'm hearing this. So it's not like that dramatic, but it was scary. But then, Rachel, but sometimes you dramatize. No, Matthew was there. Sometimes you dramatize too many things. Matthew backed me up. And sometimes you don't dramatize things enough. Let me tell you a story. Zoom in, Matthew. No, I'm kidding. Zoom in. So basically, I went swimming yesterday in the rain.
No.
Oh.
At like a birthday party. We were swimming.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like get dressed and shower here. I'll just do that at home. And so I went home and I was gonna take a shower.
Yep.
And then it's just like torrential downpouring, lightning, thunder outside. And you're not supposed to shower when it's lightning.
Okay. Oh yeah. Right. Hold on.
When it's lightning.
Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there, guys. Me and my wife were talking about this separately from this. Why is that a thing? Is that it's a myth?
It's because
it's a myth.
We Googled it. Our whole family. I guess that like the lightning can like strike the pipes and then the water. You know how like a water like and like electricity and like stuff.
Okay,
anyway,
guys, fact check us.
It freaked me out.
Fact
So then
check
I was
it,
like,
though.
I guess I'll wait.
How many people have died or have been shot?
I don't know, bro.
I think it's
know.
zero.
But we also
I think it's close to zero.
I was also afraid that it was going to be like a tornado. And then I was like, oh, shoot. Like, I can't get to the basement fast, you know? So I was like, I'll wait. Anyway.
Yeah.
But our house is always like below zero because my parents are from Wisconsin. So they don't believe in heat, I guess.
Oh, jeez.
So
Jeez.
it's freezing. It's freezing in there.
The Wisconsinites out there.
And so I got home and I'm like in the bathing suit, ready to take a shower,
Yeah.
but I'm freezing. And so I go sit in our porch. We have like the screened-in porch.
Yeah,
and the
it's
porch
like the
is
Four
like
Season porch or
yeah,
something.
it's like but it's hot because the AC is not in there. So I'm in the porch. Don't know why that was a good idea to be in the porch during this like torrential downpour
Yep.
wind. And I was sitting there on my phone like trying to be warm, and I see like this bright light.
Oh.
And just like my life flashed before my eyes. And I heard this snap, and then my ears like went deaf. And lightning like struck, like basically like in our backyard.
No, it didn't.
It did, and
No,
it was so
didn't.
bright. And my parents were in the house, and my mom was upstairs in the bathroom, and she said that it hurt her eyes too when the window was open. But I literally watched it, and my eyes hurt, and my ears hurt, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that was like almost to me," and it was so scary. And I thought it was like so close. And then today I went outside and I didn't see like any like
any like marks on the ground.
no, and so I was like, it's probably like farther away than I thought. But it was so loud.
I bet you it was probably that lake just on the other side of the highway.
That's what I think. But it was so loud, and I was like, I'm literally gonna die. And then like 2 minutes before it happened, my mom was outside with an umbrella, getting plants inside, and I was like, Mom, that we literally both could have died. But it was really scary.
You know, actually, so this is what I was gonna say yesterday. So we also had lightning struck real close.
Oh my gosh.
Probably not as close as yours, but it was like flash, like half a second, boom, whole house shook. The dogs were barking. They were crazy. Wilder slept right through it.
Maybe it was
but
the
man,
same,
it was so loud.
Maybe it was the same boom.
No, because ours came from the west side, so ours came from west.
Oh.
Yeah, and you probably heard it from the east if you're looking into your backyard.
It was past us, like going down.
Yeah.
But
that's
oh my
crazy,
gosh.
dude.
It was scary. It was so scary.
Lightning is scary, man.
And then I screamed, and then Matthew and my mom like ran upstairs because I was like, I thought I died. It was so scary.
Oh my god.
Everything hurt after.
Hashtag,
I was like,
guys, in the comments, hashtag pray for Rachel. Pray
it was
for Rachel.
so scary. I think there's always a hashtag pray for Rachel. Every podcast.
Hashtag pray for Rachel, guys.
Oh my gosh. But it was nuts.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Well,
I've just been getting over a cold here. So if I'm coughing, guys, it's because I'm just
we're real people.
I'm like through it. It's just like this is just like the whatever's left.
It's the real people. We get colds.
We get colds, guys. We're not immune.
No.
Okay, we're not. We definitely get sick.
You gave me the cold.
Your
your family.
I think like Wilder first got it, and then I got it. And Grace says she got it, but she didn't get that many symptoms.
Yeah.
But I believe she might have gotten a little bit of it.
I think it has to do with like the Canada smoke.
Perhaps. I was up in Vermilion.
And the ragweed outside.
I was up in Vermilion, and it was pretty smoky out there. So
yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
All right, guys. Well, today, what is our topic, Rachel?
We are talking about conflict.
So you know what we got to do. We got to go through our question of the month.
Yeah.
And a few of you guys submitted some answers, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll go through those. And we're kind of like, what we like to do is we like to like react or to reflect on kind of what the answers that you guys have put on.
Yeah.
And then we kind of give our own take on it. And then we'll go right into the topic.
And if you missed this one, there's a way to answer the next one.
That's right. You just got to wait till the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So,
and we'll reveal it. Then you can go find it on our social media.
On our social media.
Follow, be a part of the fam.
Come on.
Okay, so the question was about conflict. Because we're talking about conflict.
Yes.
The question was, how do you resolve conflict in your life? And we got a few answers. The first one was with caution and a steady hand. So I mean, like slow, probably. Slow, caution.
And when we were looking through this, I'm like a steady hand, like if like it's like don't throw hands, like don't throw your don't throw
Tim's
hands.
like with caution.
Keep your hands
don't
steady.
throw hands.
So don't be super angry. Is that what it is?
Maybe like gentle.
No,
Be gentle about it.
I'm like steady hand. I'm like, what's your hand gonna do?
Yeah, which I think is smart.
You know, I mean, yes, you know, definitely don't throw hands if you're angry,
Yeah.
folks. Don't do it
Yeah.
as much as you want to.
Do you know what I think about though? Like if you have to, well, I don't know. This is just me verbally processing now.
Yeah.
But when you enter something with caution,
Yeah.
to me it feels like caution is like something's fixing, something's working, something's changing.
Yeah.
It's like when you put like a cone up in the road.
Yeah.
It's like you can either go over the road with the caution sign or you can wait for it to be done. And so I feel like sometimes it's better to not
And just kind of wait.
and wait, you know. Like the term enter with caution always gets to me. I'm like, why would I enter with caution when I can wait for it to be ready for me to go, you know?
That is true. Well, I think that maybe it's
But there's some
But
some
I think
things.
what it's saying though is like when you're gonna go into the conversation,
Yeah.
then go with caution rather than like going in, you know, right away with
Yeah.
caution. If you know what I'm saying.
I feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is with small comments about little things and then hiding my feelings about the big things, which is so real. It's so real.
Only touch
I
the
don't
things
know.
that you need to touch on. Okay.
I don't know if it's the best, but low key, we're all that way.
You know, I
hard.
respect that.
I respect
you know,
it.
because it's like sometimes the bigger things don't really matter in the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's about just talking about the things that you need to talk
Yeah.
about, and the big emotions
Yeah.
can stay back. You know what I'm saying?
But also like hiding your feelings, like don't ever do that.
Yeah, don't, you know, I
ever
think
do
that there's a time and, there's a time and place.
Yeah.
There's a time and place for that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe we'll talk about it a little bit
Well,
later.
and I think it's like acting upon emotions.
Right.
versus just
reacting with
talking about
emotions,
them.
for sure.
Like that made me upset when you did that versus like I'm upset. Let's talk about it now.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
And then the next one is seeking God and then seeking counsel,
That's a good one.
which is
That's a
good.
good
And
one.
then the next one's similar, clear communication after processing with the Lord.
That's good.
So
Yeah. I think it's important. That you bring it to the Lord in prayer. You know,
step one.
because at that point, what you're doing, right? I love that because what you're doing is you're no longer the spearhead of the decisions you're going to make. You're kind of offering it to God to allow God to come in, right? You're relieving yourself of that pressure because you've already given it to the Lord. And then when you come into that conversation, whatever whatever is going to happen through that conversation is will be God willing,
Yeah.
right? And so I think that it's important that we do that because oftentimes if we feel like we need to carry that ourselves,
Yeah.
then we tend to rely more on the flesh than we do in the spirit. So.
Yeah. I think one of the most like when I remember a conflicting situation that I had one time with a friend, and it got resolved the most well. What am I trying to say? The best.
The
it
best-
got
the
resolved
best outcome.
yes. The best outcome was because right before we talked, we prayed together and we invited God into the conversation together. And I thought that was really cool that we did that. And she chose to do that. She said, I think we should pray together before we start.
There you go.
And since then, I've tried to do that. Any conversation I have that's like a little
Yeah.
conflicting, because I think like you inviting God into like your own personal processing is important. And then processing it then before you go to other people. But then like when you're with that person you're trying to have that hard conversation with, like remembering that the Lord is with you in that.
It also sets the tone.
It
of
sets the tone
conversation,
for the conversation.
you know?
Yeah. Like he's present. He's here with us.
Right.
Let's be mature and
Exactly,
respectful.
exactly,
Talk about
right,
it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a good reminder that like the Lord is still with you in
Yeah.
those moments. The way that you speak, the way you carry yourself will affect will affect situations
Mm-hmm.
of how basically the Lord sees you, right?
Yeah.
The Lord sees you, and so you got to be careful, right? You got to be careful. But I think that's a huge thing is to invite. That's often not done enough. I feel like I personally haven't done that really, is to pray before you come into a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It does become a little bit more difficult when it's people that maybe don't believe in God.
Yeah.
But then that's when it's important that you bring it to the Lord first.
Yeah.
kind of cover all the bases.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, Tim.
Yes.
Do you remember a time?
Oh.
Maybe we're gonna jump back.
Oh.
We're gonna jump back because I want to hear about past Tim and future Tim.
Oh, dang.
Maybe like in middle school or high school.
Oh gosh.
Before your maturity kicked in.
And that real
do you
though.
remember like a conflicting friendship or situation you had and how you dealt with it then? And then what's like advice you would give to past Tim like
then,
now?
I mean, then I wouldn't. Oh. Well, if I was to give myself advice from now to Tim, then he won't take the advice. I'll promise you that.
Oh, really?
So it's a waste of time. Let me see. You know, I can't say that there was one that really sticks out to me. But what I can say is that like, there's a lot of there's a lot of like conflict in family dynamics. I will say that, and so I got in a lot of arguments and a lot of fights with my siblings over the dumbest things, and sometimes over serious things, but most of it was just like dumb, and let's just say that it could have definitely have gone better with the conflict resolution. But one thing that we did start doing when I graduated college was being all on the same page and agreement that every single one of us have the right to call each other out for something that we felt was done wrong against us, whether or not it was or whether or not the other person sees it. That we need to still create a space for that, right? Because like even if it was a one-sided conflict, like if I felt like, let's say my brother said something to me that I was really offended by, but he didn't know, right? Or he didn't see how I reacted, or he just thought that it was just a joke. He walks away. I'm stuck with this heavy on my heart, right? Well, now with what we agreed on, now I can come to him, right, and open up a space about that, whether or not he knew it or not, and to be able to process that with them, and calling them out for it. So, for example, there was a time where when I was doing worship at church or something, and my brother, he came up to me afterwards, and he made a comment about my outfit, and I really felt offended by it. Because I felt like it was like in front of the whole team. It was in front of people that I look up to and I trusted, and so for me it was very embarrassing. And maybe I wasn't offended, but I was embarrassed. And so then immediately after church we go home, and I go to him and I say, hey, what you said at church wasn't cool, and here's why. And I told him it was because you embarrassed me in front of my leaders, you embarrassed me in front of my friends, and at the time, right, he didn't think twice of it. He went on doing his thing at church, and I told him, and he was like, oh dude, I'm so sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's how it made you feel, right? And so we started doing stuff like that, which has helped our family dynamic a lot, since I was in high school.
Yeah.
And we do that all the time to each other, and we have the right to do that for each other, even if it feels like we didn't mean it. We still will apologize, because again, it's not about in that moment when someone is hurt, and you don't know it. It's not about you anymore. It's about the other person. If the other person feels hurt, and that's not to say that you should you should just say sorry just to say sorry, right? I think that it's important for you to feel and to see the other person for what they were feeling or what they were going through, whether or not it was something that you knew about or not, and to see them for that, and then to respond in an appropriate way. So even just allowing there to be that space to have that conversation, I think is important, and so that kind of helped me and my siblings out, for the most part. Yeah.
Do you think that helped, stepping into the season of marriage then too, like being able to realize oh, this person has emotions, they're gonna feel this way? Because I remember you saying once, we were in the car once on the way to a wedding, and we were all talking in the car, and you and Gracelyn talked to me about how when you originally got married and you had conflicting situations, how it's important to not take sides but to compromise. and how sometimes it's like good to like, oh, maybe like you're right, we should do this, or like making choices. But I remember you said like there are certain things where like you have to be honest with each other and say like this bothers me, but then in the end like we are one, and so we have to compromise. And like finding those little compromising, I think like in situations when you have a conflict, how there are certain moments where it's like this person was completely wrong and they just don't want to take ownership for it. But there are moments too where it's like you both maybe thought differently, and you both like there's not a right person. So you have to then compromise and find that compromise. Do you think like having that dynamic in your family helped with your marriage a lot?
Yeah, I think that it's something, in I want to make this clear, is that like, when your family dynamics, when you get married, you want to allow only specific things. This is kind of like boundaries.
Oh yeah.
You only want to take specific things that you want to see within your own family, from your family. And so for us, conflict was, and it still is, a difficult conversation for us, because my family has done it that way, where we call each other out on it, and we talk about it right then and there, right, or whenever we're ready. And so for me to bring that into my marriage without the consideration of what Grace and their family has done, would be a disservice for me. And so I like what you were saying. However, I want to be careful with using the word compromise, because compromising means you're both sacrificing something to meet in the middle. And that is to say that whether or not one person is right or wrong, that both win, right? And that is good in some scenarios, in some cases, but it gets very complicated when it becomes becomes about bigger topics that are value driven, if that makes sense. Because if your value, right, is that you value, let's say you value chocolate milk.
So random. Why was that the first thing you thought of?
Let's say you value chocolate milk like a lot, like your life is chocolate milk. Yeah. And the other person values strawberry milk, right? And
ew. Who would ever choose?
We're gonna start doing a conflict
Who
example.
Would ever choose strawberry milk?
So strawberry milk, right? So and that's their whole life, right? Compromising is saying we'll mix both into a cup. Okay. Yeah, no, exactly, right? Yeah. We're mixing both into a cup, and we'll share this 1 gallon of mixed chocolate and strawberry milk, which is, if you like chocolate and strawberry milk, go ahead. But let's say that chocolate milk, right? Chocolate milk has a virus in it.
Crazy.
Right? But one person still loves the chocolate milk, but it has a virus in it. And strawberry milk over here is saying, no, don't drink the chocolate milk because it has a virus in it. Right? Are we then still going to compromise and mix the two? Right? Are we still going to compromise and mix the two, where now we have half the chocolate milk and half the strawberry, but the chocolate milk now introduces something that maybe neither wants, right, in the relationship?
That's so real, dude.
Yeah. So I know it's milk and I know it's funny, but you can apply it to some of the conflicts and values that in a marriage you might come across, where you are chocolate milk, and this is strawberry milk. But after thinking a little bit deeper about one or the other, you start to see the flaws of one or the other. And so we have to be careful about just compromising just to compromise. Yeah. And sometimes strawberry milk that has no virus is the way to go, even if you like chocolate milk, when chocolate milk has a virus in it. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that's so real in like friendships too. Like I think of times. Okay, well let me say this first.
Okay.
I think, and I am for sure this way sometimes, and I work on it, but I am a human. But we take so much like pride in being the right person.
Yes.
And I think sometimes you just have to let it go and be like, even though you feel like that is the right choice, like the only way to find out if it's the right choice is just do it.
That's right.
But sometimes you just don't even know, and you'll never know. And I think to like harm a friendship or to harm a relationship in your family over like just believing that you're the right person, I think it's really unsafe, and it's not a good thing to do. And I think like finding a compromise maybe could look like, oh, like this toy we want to play with, we'll share it, like sharing things. But I think that there are big situations, like you're right, where like even though you really believe that this is wrong, I think you can still voice that, but then being honest and being like, but our friendship or our relationship is bigger than this, and I still value you and want you in my life, so I'm just going to say yes.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Right? That's huge.
But then it's also good for the recipient
for sure
to understand. It's like you can't make someone who hates something love something.
Correct.
But you can respect their opinion.
And you can consider, right?
And consider it, yeah.
Right? And I think that's the important thing is like you have to consider, you know, your marriage or your spouse. You have to consider your spouse, whether or not each decision is a compromise or not. It doesn't matter. You have to consider what the other person is feeling, and that doesn't mean that you always have to go with them. It just means that you know through love, you know, because you care for this person, you consider their opinions, right? Like it's just a fun example. Like for example, me and my wife, like let's say we want to go to Cane's or Chick-fil-A. And I want to go to Cane's, but Grace wants to go to Chick-fil-A.
Whoa, hot
right? And and I have a heavy opinion, and I'm like, I really want to go to Cane's, right? Mm-hmm. It's you know, like let me say, it's like, oh, it's got good chicken, it's got good sauce, it's got the toast, right? And then Grace goes, no, I have a stronger opinion on Chick-fil-A because it's better chicken, it's cheaper, it's more affordable, and all of us can eat, right? Mm-hmm. And then I look at that, I'm like, yeah, maybe you're right. Like, as much as I love Cane's, it's you know, if you look at the broader sense of it all, the prices of Cane's versus Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is obviously going to save you more, and it can still feed my whole family without having to break the bank, right? I'm going to sacrifice my choice and go with Chick-fil-A because it's not that I don't like Chick-fil-A, right? I love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I just much prefer Cane's.
Yeah.
But I'll still go to Chick-fil-A and give them. Now that's not a compromise. A compromise would be I'm gonna get Cane's and Grace is gonna get Chick-fil-A and then we're gonna eat it in the car.
Yeah.
And maybe that works for you, but that's just an example, and you can apply that to again some bigger, deeper conversations that you might have with a friend, with your spouse. But that's just another way to kind of go about conflict.
Yeah, and I think it's good to talk about the recipient too, where like once like Cane's, Chick-fil-A, we're going back to that. Like you tell Grayson, yeah, I think you're right. I think that's smart. We're gonna save money. We can eat together as a family, and then it's about her response too. Like Grayson's wonderful. She's not gonna be like, "Yep, I was right."
Yeah, correct, right.
Like to be right. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think you need to not make it a big deal.
Yeah, like with that attitude, are you really winning? If you're not, right? You're only making things worse. Right?
Yeah. And so I think when there are situations in your life where you are dealing with conflict and you maybe like win, I guess, or your side is the one that you go with, like that's it. You move on.
Right.
You go with it then.
Right. You just go with it. And that's just especially in the marriage, once you make that decision, it's no longer their decision, it's our decision, right? That's just what it is, right? And that's the same way of like finding a place to live or moving. Like when you move, right? Like at least for me and Grace, when we were moving, it wasn't like I was like, we have to move to Forest Lake, right? And then Grace is like, okay, we're gonna go to Forest Lake, and that's not my decision, right? It was our decision, right? It was our decision to move to Forest Lake, right? Yeah. That's kind of like the approach, like whether or not she had a stronger opinion to, let's say, move to Forest Lake or Duluth, right? Whether or not she had more an opinion on Duluth or Forest Lake, the fact that after we've thought about it, after we've talked about it, and we both agreed that for the better and the good of our family, Forest Lake was the better choice. It doesn't become my choice just because I had more preference in it. It becomes our choice because that's who we are. We're one body, so it's our choice that we made it to Forest Lake.
Also, those cities are really random.
I don't live.
We don't live in Forest Lake.
I don't live anywhere there.
Okay.
So
I want to jump back to one of these responses.
Okay.
I think that's a big deal. It says seeking God and then counsel. Let's talk about counsel for a second.
Yes.
Because I think when you're dealing with conflict, I am at fault of this. Tim knows because I'm a verbal processor.
She is.
And it's a gift because I'm able to like be honest with people and talk to people correct. Like I feel like but it's also a curse because
you want to just talk.
I just want to keep talking.
Problems. Yeah.
And so it's something that I've had to learn with and grow in. But I think we tend to want to talk to everyone about it and get all this advice from people, but I don't think that's wise. And I think that there are certain situations where maybe you have to bring people in for a reason because maybe they're involved.
100%.
But in reality, like the only person that's going to then go to the person and talk to the person is you.
Right.
And so for you to seek counsel doesn't necessarily have to look like advice. It could be like, hey, I just need to process this and figure out my own feelings so I'm able to then talk to that person. And that's something that I've had to learn because most of the time when I want advice from someone, it normally comes from me. But I just needed to talk to someone to get it out.
For sure.
And I think that there are times, though, where you need to get advice from people, maybe like your mentors, your teachers,
right.
Parents, pastors. But you don't need to go to all your friends about it.
That's right.
And you don't need to go to your neighbors and your coworkers. They don't need to hear it, especially if they know the person.
That's right.
And so I think that's just like a tremendous respect towards the other person too.
For sure, because and we kind of talked about this in our gossip episode, right? Like, like that could easily turn into gossip, and we got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Because no longer is it about solving the problem; it's about shaming the other person.
Oh yeah.
Right. And it could quickly turn to that. Not saying that our intention every time we go talk to somebody about a problem that it will, that we want to gossip. No, but it's very, very quick, and the enemy is very quick to catch on to situations like that where it's like, oh, they're cooking something up. I'm going to throw in gossip in there. And boom, it becomes, gossip becomes more than it needs to be.
Well, and you know what I think about is I think about people in my life that I do verbally process with. And something that I love that you and Gracelyn do specifically is like Gracelyn will ask me how I'm doing, but she's never like, do you have any updates? Like it'll always be like, hey, I was praying for you. Like, how are you doing? It's never like they don't need to know anything about it.
That's good.
And I think if there are people in your life who are like, oh, what's the update? Like, what happened?
What's the tea?
What's the tea?
Yeah,
I think that those aren't the right people to go to.
whenever kids, I should say youth kids, whenever they come and they ask me, Tim, who should I be talking to about this, or how do I get advice, or where do I get discernment from? And I always say the same things. Go to a person that you trust, who knows the Lord and loves God, and is an adult or a mentor or something, someone that is important to you, right? Yeah. So trust, important, and knows God. I should say knows God, trust, and is important to you. So that could be your parent. That could be your mentors at church, your pastors, your leaders. Yeah. Because if you just kind of like how you want to pray about a situation, you want to talk to people who know God and who loves God, that will speak truth into your life, rather than just giving you what you want. And that's why it's important to find trust, right? People that you trust, that will tell you the truth, that will just say it straight to your face, and so finding those people, to kind of rely on in terms of discernment, because not like Rachel said, not every situation needs discernment, but if you do need it, find people that loves the Lord, that you trust, and that is important to you in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I know that we talk about or some people talk about the what is it called, the sandwich method for conflict. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you compliment them, lay it down, and then give them another compliment.
Yeah, exactly. If you know that, you know that.
Oh my gosh, the sandwich.
One thing that we learned in college, I took a Karen counseling class. And
what was it called?
Karen counseling.
I thought you said Karen.
Karen counseling.
And
how to deal with Karens. It's a real thing in the ministry.
I was like, what the heck?
It's a real thing in the ministry.
What is that class?
One thing that I really took away from that class was when you have conflict, you want to be able to you want to solve it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
In private.
Yeah.
Right? Or as soon as possible and in private.
Yeah.
and what that means is, not rushing it, but when
Yeah.
you're ready, right? Or when you're processing what happened by yourself, try to process it in an efficient way so
Yeah.
that you can quickly get to
Yes.
talking about it with the other person.
Yes.
I think that, it's one thing to wait and push it away and
Yeah.
just wait weeks or wait days before
Yeah.
talking about it. But it's another thing to think about it and process it by yourself.
Yeah.
As soon as it's over, in order so that you can make a way for reconciliation.
Yeah.
And so do it as soon as possible, when you're ready, as soon as possible, and in private. And
Yeah.
if you can get those two down, then I promise you the conflict would probably it would go a lot smoother than
Yeah.
if you just rushed into it, or if you did it in public or with other people involved. That's, but that's something that we learned.
I want to say one last thing, and then we can wrap it up.
Yeah,
But I want to mention too, just because it just came to my mind, is outside of family relationships, because I think that's a different dynamic.
For sure.
But like coworkers, friendships, like relationships you have that aren't with blood relatives. If you have if you're having to have so many conversations because things are so conflicting, rethink the relationship, the friendship. And it doesn't mean rethinking it like I can't be their friend.
Right.
But maybe
Setting more boundaries.
maybe set more boundaries,
set more boundaries.
or figure out how, or recognize, that's what I'm trying to say, recognize the way they're responding to conflict. Because if you're the one that always has to go back to them and trying to resolve it, or you're the one trying to fix things all the time, and then they're saying thank you, I really appreciated you coming to me, what does that say about the relationship? And so I think guard your heart.
For sure.
Guard your heart, people.
Don't be taken advantage of.
Because I think some conflicting situations, I hear some of my friends talk about their friends, and I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
that's a toxic dynamic because you're the one that's basically doing the counseling and fixing.
Yeah, you're giving 110%, and they're not giving any.
They're not giving anything back.
That could be
So,
difficult.
and that's a whole different conversation.
Right,
but
right.
when I think of conflict, I think of that often. Because that's a lot that I hear from students and things. It's
for sure.
they'll come to you and they'll be like, oh, this friend, or kids at my school that I teach at, they'll be like, this friend is yada yada, and they don't want to listen to me, and I'm like, all right, they're not.
Are they really your friend?
Are they really your friend if they don't want to put effort into listening to you?
Right. It's one thing to that's a great way to say it too. It's do you see the other person trying to reconcile with you?
Yeah.
If they don't want to reconcile, does that mean that there needs to be reconciliation?
Yeah.
Probably not. Right. If they're moving on from you, then they're probably going to be like that, where they don't want to do anything with you. They don't want to have the same conversations with you. They would rather just keep that down and keep moving forward. And so should you. If they want to move out that way,
Yeah.
you should move out the other way.
And that's not a bad thing.
It's not.
It's not a bad thing. It's like when you have good memories with them and you love them and stuff, but we would open the door to so many new beautiful memories with new people.
For sure.
And I remember times where I was like, shoot, I'm lonely. All these toxic friends, I should just keep them around because they were my friends. But I have such better friends now because I was able to realize that they were too conflicting.
100%.
Yeah.
And and that could happen at any point in your life.
Yeah.
Friends that you've had for decades, friends that you've had for just a couple weeks. At any point, God can call you away from those relationships. God can take those relationships away in order to give you ones that are more life-giving. Especially if you're faithful and rely on the Lord. The Lord will hear your desires for wanting relationships and friendships. He will bring you people who also knows Him. And that's I feel like even in my life that has been pretty blatantly obvious. Walking away from people that I thought that they would be my lifelong friends, but only for the time and only for the season. Even if it was a long time, they were my friends, but not necessarily where God was calling me to be.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, that was good.
All right, y'all.
Conflict.
There you go. Hey, let us know in the comments what you guys think about conflict. How do you resolve conflict? If you have something to share with us, if you have a testimony or something like that with, that kind of deals around the topics that we have here, you can always shoot us a message at the Instagram, and just send us a DM, and we'd love to talk to you. We'll keep it private. We won't ever share it on the podcast without consenting to you. But if that's something that you want to do, just send us a DM. We'd love to reach out to you and talk to you about that stuff. It'd be fun. Or just leave them in the comment below. Grow with the community that watches these videos and these podcasts. And eat 'em.
Edel.
Edel it up.
Not 2 T's,
Not 2 L's.
but 2 E's. Edel. All right. We have to be honest with y'all. We forgot to do something.
Yes.
We don't have a next question of the month for you, but you know what?
So then you know what? No, hold on.
You know what you got to do then?
Hold on. Check this out. The question of the month is, what should the next topic be?
Oh, that's a good question of the month.
Oh,
I like it. We'll post that one.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments. You know, the question of the month is, what should our next topic be?
Yeah.
And give us some ideas. And what do you want to hear? You know, another way for us to engage with you. You know, what do you want to hear on the podcast? We'd love to dive into some of your topics, especially as we coming down to the end of the year,
into the school year,
and into the school year and into the next year. We'd love to talk more about topics that maybe you're going through as a young adult. So. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the DMs on Instagram. You can follow us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. With all that said, let's pray, and then we'll get out of here.
Sounds good.
All right. Heavenly Father, we pray. We thank you for this episode. We thank you for the listeners. Lord, we just pray that you bring these words and may it be an impression on the hearts of those who are listening, Lord, especially with conflict, with conflict being something so easily turned negative and so easily hurt. Lord, may you just bring people to a place where conflict becomes something more comfortable and more familiar, that these conflicts would lead to reconciliation and freedom. Lord, I just pray this over the listeners and us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, y'all. We'll see you guys on the next one.
Bye.